Hi guys, JT here. Today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Critical Hits ARPG Bundle of May 2026. To help me answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. And number 1 we have The Last Hero of Nostalgaia, an action-adventure game that delivers a satirical dark fantasy spin on the Souls-like genre. In this crumbling world, modern 3D graphics are deteriorating into low-pixel 2D retro environments. You control a stick figure savior who is constantly reminded by a harsh, witty narrator that they are not the chosen one, fueling your desire to prove them wrong. The gameplay mechanics are unapologetically unrelenting, featuring distant checkpoints and tough combat reminiscent of Elden Ring. However, the game carves out its own unique identity through clever nostalgic design choices. For example, your initial character customization options barely alter your appearance since you're made of simple lines. Instead, your look evolves as you collect weapons and armor. These gear pieces have forgotten their powers, requiring you to decipher hints in their descriptions and hunt down specific memory locations within the mini open world levels to unlock their true statistics. Visually, the environmental graphics temporarily improve around checkpoints, and when discovering new equipment, adding a layer of wonder to exploration. While the combat demands patience through a grueling cycle of dying and rethinking your technical approach, it ultimately remains fair and flexible. Back and forth exploration is essential for uncovering keys and ranking up your skills. Once you master the rhythm, the game transforms from a mere parody into a charming, distinct experience. This game is a challenging, humorous treat if you love unyielding adventures. And number 2 we have BLACKTAIL, a captivating journey through a dark fairy tale world, blending survival elements with magical storytelling. As Yaga, a young witch on a quest to find her lost sister, you navigate a lush open world teeming with hidden secrets, deadly dangers, and enigmatic characters inspired by Scandinavian folklore. The game's visuals are stunning, immersing you in a majestic yet macabre environment filled with sparkling rivers, foreboding swamps, and towering skeletal rabbit statues. Each locale is intricately detailed, contributing to the game's rich narrative and immersive atmosphere. BLACKTAIL introduces light survival mechanics, such as hunting for meat, gathering resources, and crafting arrows and antidotes. Every item you collect serves a purpose, whether for crafting or enhancing Yaga's abilities at the cauldron. The cauldron serves as a focal point for unlocking and upgrading skills, requiring you to mix various ingredients to progress. Despite its captivating narrative and inventive world building, BLACKTAIL suffers from clunky combat mechanics. While functional, the combat can feel cumbersome, especially during intense encounters where agile movement is crucial. The dodge mechanic, while fast, lacks fluidity, leading to moments of frustration when facing relentless enemies. Additionally, the game can benefit from clearer explanations of its systems, particularly regarding leveling and progression. Some players may find themselves confused or overwhelmed by the intricacies of the gameplay mechanics. BLACKTAIL delivers a visually stunning and narratively compelling experience, albeit with some flaws in its combat and system explanations. Despite these shortcomings, it offers an enjoyable journey through a dark and enchanting fairy tale world, filled with charm, mystery, and peril. If you're willing to overlook its rough edges, BLACKTAIL promises a captivating adventure worth embarking on. And number 3 we have Hellpoint, a sci-fi Souls-like action RPG set on Irid Novo, a dark space station orbiting a black hole. You play as a spawn of the author, an artificial life form thrown into combat with absolutely zero narrative context. The game adopts a hell in space aesthetic, throwing tough enemies and occasional hordes from cosmic accretion storms directly at you. You will find the responsive combat fun, featuring standard light and heavy attacks alongside unique mappable weapon skills. However, the game forces extreme aggression. You can only refill your healing items and energy by hitting enemies, and resting at breaches will not restore your curatives. If you die, your dropped currency forms an annoying hostile ghost of yourself that you must defeat. Exploration is heavily rewarded with hidden gear, but the clunky camera and targeting lock often work against you during intense fights. Visually, the station offers a few decent vistas, but frequent framerate drops and glitchy enemy AI hold it back from greatness. Furthermore, the bosses feel unmemorable and straightforward, ruined further by excessively long runbacks from your checkpoints. This lower budget adventure feels a bit too safe, living firmly in the shadow of the Dark Souls franchise rather than forging its own path. It refuses to open up its story, leaving you to piece together lore from vague cookie-cutter flavor text. While it offers a solid serviceable challenge that'll keep genre fans busy, it fails to take the necessary risks to truly stand out. At number 4 we have Blade of Darkness. Originally released in 2001, it's a 2D platformer that has inspired generations of fantasy action-adventure games. Re-released in 2021, it remains a challenging, gory, and rewarding medieval fantasy adventure that deserves your attention. One major drawback is the lack of plot. You get minimal story information, just a brief introduction to each area and the overarching goal of vanquishing a dark force. The world is rich in villainy and derelict fortresses, hinting at a deep lore that you never truly uncover. Despite this, you can choose your favorite hero, knight, barbarian, dwarf, or rogue, and enjoy battling through the game's diverse environments. The gruesome and gory combat is a major draw. You can hack off limbs and even use them as weapons, adding a bizarrely entertaining element to the game. Combat requires a rhythmic, dance-like precision, reminiscent of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Monsters hit hard, so you need to master blocking and dodging. The game features diverse locations, from medieval fortresses to Indian and Egyptian-inspired temples, ensuring the world never feels stale. Each of the 4 playable characters starts at a different location with unique strengths and weaknesses. The variety extends to the enemies, each with their own combat intricacies. Progression in Blade of Darkness can feel disjointed due to the lack of NPC dialogue and side quests. The game is not linear, and you need to collect 6 runes to access the true end level, a task that the game doesn't clearly explain. While the graphics are dated, they hold a nostalgic charm. The re-release has updated the visuals to fit modern screens, enhancing the experience. Despite its plot issues and confusing progression, the challenging combat and diverse environments make it a must-play for action-adventure enthusiasts. If nothing else, the joy of beating an orc with its own arm is reason enough to check it out. At number 5 we have Greedfall, an action role-playing game. The world is dying due to pollution, overpopulation, and the plague, an incurable disease known as the Malachor. The population is growing desperate, but a glimmer of hope shines in the distance. A remote island, Teofradi, a land spared by the plague, a haven of life, wild and untempered by mankind. It holds promises of riches and the best hope for mankind to find a cure for the Malachor. You set foot on the uncharted island along with settlers, mercenaries, and treasure hunters on the hunt for the cure. Being a role-playing game, Greedfall will hold you accountable for your actions, and you must consider your dialogue choices carefully. Your choices will not only affect you, but other characters around you too, and it will make you wonder, what if I chose differently? Of course, you can always load a previous save file, but what's the fun in that? You can acquire all kinds of gear and weapons throughout your adventures in this game. Items can be upgraded and customized as well as equipped to companions. You'll also be engaged in third-person combat that will remind you of some Dark Souls and The Witcher 3, only simpler. There are 3 different styles of combat, magic, ranged, and melee, and you can alter or enhance each style using the talent tree where you can place points into as you level up. You can build a hybrid character that combines swordplay and pistols together. You'll also receive talent points for non-combat perks like persuasion and science, which will enhance your options in dialogue and your ability to explore the world. While this game is set on a large island of Teofradi, it is not a full open world. Rather, it is several dozen smaller zones that you will visit. These zones range from large cities to murky swamps and vibrant forests. There are plenty of secrets and treasures hidden in each zone, and some would require special skills to be able to traverse across to obtain said secret or treasure. But you can always come back later once you have obtained the necessary traversal ability. Other skills include lockpicking and crafting, which will come in handy in different situations. You can even get these skills boosted if you have the right companions with you for the job, given that you have forged a strong enough friendship with them. Speaking of companions, you have 5 of them in total, and your decisions will affect the way they see you. Each of your companions have different faction allegiances, so they aren't just your support characters, rather individuals with their own agendas. They can even betray you if you treat them badly, or cause too much trouble with their allied faction. On the flip side, if you treat them well, they could help you when dealing with their allied faction. A complaint about your companions is that they are very limited in numbers for an RPG game. In addition, not all of your available allies are even interesting persons. Others have complained about lip-syncing issues, graphics, animation, and seemingly cities that lack any large living populations. So if you like a game where your decisions actually matter, then Greedfall could be one for you. At number 6 we have Soulstice, an action-focused 3D beat-em-up game that delivers Devil May Cry style gameplay in a dark fantasy setting. The game features combo-heavy combat and a captivating story. Set in a macabre world overrun by undead creatures, mutants, and revenants, Soulstice follows the story of two conjoined sisters, Briar and Lute, who are supernaturally powerful warriors created to counter the Wraith threat. Players must infiltrate the holy kingdom of Cades, eliminate the source of the incursion, and save the realm. The gameplay in Soulstice draws inspiration from games like DMC, Devil May Cry, and Darksiders. Players engage in combo-centric combat, switching between various weapons and executing special attacks. The game also introduces the field system, where Briar's melee attacks have no effect on certain enemies until Lute summons a magic paling that exposes them. Lute also serves as a support character, providing auto attacks and specific abilities during fights. However, Soulstice faces some challenges. While it has strong combat fundamentals and a dynamic support character system, Soulstice suffers from imprecise targeting, a complicated barrier system, and some lackluster animations and effects. The auto-targeting system is imprecise, requiring manual adjustments to point Briar to its targets. The barrier system adds complexity to combat and limits offensive capabilities. The game also suffers from occasional targeting confusion in crowded encounters. Despite these flaws, Soulstice's engrossing action and dark atmosphere make it a worthwhile experience for fans of the genre. At number 7 we have Eldest Souls, a game where you embark on a relentless journey as a lone warrior, armed with a colossal sword, tasked with infiltrating a citadel that houses ancient gods responsible for world destruction. Distinct from conventional Souls-like titles, Eldest Souls distinguishes itself by focusing solely on intricate, challenging boss battles, discarding extraneous enemies, and exploratory diversions. Your straightforward mission is to eliminate each god, and the game cleverly integrates a charged sword strike health regeneration system, fostering aggression and turning the tide in your favor even after enduring significant damage. While Eldest Souls bear the influence of From Software's design, it tempers its difficulty, omitting the loss of currency upon death and allowing unhindered sword swings based on stamina. The deliberate slowness of basic attacks, though requiring adjustment, contributes to a strategic depth of combat. Noteworthy is the absence of health pickups, replaced by health regeneration through charged sword strikes, incentivizing bold and relentless engagement. The boss lineup, including gravity-controlling mages and deceptive deer gods, presents an entertaining yet supremely challenging gauntlet. The combat styles of Wind Slash, Berserk, and Counter add layers to the gameplay, encouraging strategic diversity and fostering experimentation. Eldest Souls incorporates exploration and character interactions with bouts, offering fetch quests that, while optional, contribute to character progression without feeling like unnecessary padding. As Eldest Souls hands you defeat on a bloodstained platter, it unveils its smart combat nuances and heightens the excitement of colossal confrontations. The game's adaptability, coupled with a new Game Plus mode, provides a compelling experience for both seasoned fans of punishing games and newcomers enticed by its forgiving health mechanics and refined challenge. And that's all for this bundle. The Critical Hits ARPG Bundle is an absolute steal for your backlog. Locking down Tier 2 rewards gets you 7 action-packed titles like Greedfall, Hellpoint, and Soulstice for under $10. If you're looking to scratch that action RPG itch without melting your wallet, the value here is insane. While a few titles are deeper cuts, it's a massive amount of gameplay and co-op content for a budget price. Grab your controller and lock this in before it expires. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.